So I've got like a crazy subject to talk about. I don't know. I've looked up a lot of stuff on this subject. It's a really weird. I mean, you always get these people that are like, "No, you can't use BB guns to defend yourself," and then you got other people like, "Yes, you can." Um, I was just gonna throw my 2 cents on it. I'm sure that there will be a lot of people that have their own opinions, and um, yeah, everybody's got opinions. I think one of the biggest arguments against using, say, a traditional BB gun as a self-defense weapon is um, if they don't have the hydrostatic shock that the bullets or the traditional firearms will have. I mean, if you take like a 1911 45 and somebody shoots someone with one of those for whatever reason, um, that big, huge round is moving at a pretty good speed and hits a target. Yeah, it does enter the target, pull any kind of material in with it, and then you're thinking about, of course, sepsis and all this other stuff that happens inside the wound tract and inside the body. But the other thing that happens is you've got all this force, and all this force that this bullet is transferring into the assailant. Maybe someone breaking into your house. I don't really know who, but whatever. It's this thing called hydrostatic shock. And I guess that's the argument where then people begin to make like, okay, 9 millimeter is better than, these other rounds like 380, and then 45 has more stopping power than the 9 millimeter. But then they were like plus P, and it goes into this argument. You can add it infinitum, like this bullet is better than that bullet, and pretty soon it's like, the cartoon with the bigger and bigger gun, like all the way up. What gets it done? I don't think BB guns have the hydrostatic shock that any modern or even traditional firearms have at all. And I don't think you could defend yourself in like a traditional way either. I think that's one of the other problems. And I think you can get hurt from a BB gun. In Washington State, a BB gun is considered a dangerous weapon. But I don't think it considers it as a deadly weapon. I think people have died from BB wounds before, and maybe even pellet wounds. I mean, I don't know. But I think this brings up this really important point. Shot placement. Now, a long, long time ago, when I was studying martial arts, we were taught that there were certain parts of the body that were considered our target areas. Of course, your eyes, your nose, your throat, your xiphoid process. And then for you Taekwondo kind of guys, it's the groin too. My whole thing with that is I think that certain BB guns, and not all of them, could be very good self-defense weapons. I don't know that they'd necessarily be lethal, but I gotta tell you, if somebody shot me with one of these modern BB guns that was, pushing a BB at 500 feet per second, and it hit me in the throat, I wouldn't be having a very good day. And one of the other problems is a lot of these BB guns are repeaters, and they could just keep shooting, their attacker in the neck several times. And I think what that happens too, I mean, if like you got hit in the neck, you're going to be covering your neck, and then if they kept shooting you, you're going to like hold your neck, and now the movies are going to start hitting your hands, which kind of incapacitates you further. I think one of the biggest things that people overlook in like any kind of battle is somebody's will to fight. Anytime I've ever been in any kind of street fight, I bounced for a lot of years for a bunch of different bars, and so I ran into a point where, you're at this point where you're teaching this other person, especially if it's a self-defense, You know, you're teaching the other person to leave you alone.